And now let us sum up the most important parts of our lecture. It was mentioned that a word made by conversion has a different meaning from that of the word from which it was made, though the two meanings can be associated. There are certain regularities in these associations which can be roughly classified. For instance, in the group of verbs made from nouns, some of the regular semantic associations are as indicated in the following list. The noun is the name of a tool or implement, and the verb denotes an action performed by the tool. For example, to hammer, to nail, to pin, to brush, to comb, to pencil. The noun is the name of an animal, and the verb denotes an action or aspect of behavior considered typical of the animal. For example, to dog, to wolf, to monkey, to ape, to fox, to rat. Yet, for example, to fish does not mean to behave like a fish, but to try to catch fish. The same meaning of the hunting activities is conveyed by the verb to wail. And one of the meanings of to rat is to turn in. The name of a part of the human body, an action performed by it. To hand, to leg, to eye, to elbow, to shoulder, to nose, to mouth. However, to face does not imply doing something by or even with one's face, but turning it in a certain direction. So to back means either to move backwards or, in the figurative sense, to support somebody or something. The name of a profession or occupation, an activity typical of it. For example, to nurse, to cook, to maid, to groom. The name of a place, the process of occupying the place, of putting something or somebody in it. For example, to room, to house, to place, to table, to cage. The name of a container and the act of putting something within the container. For example, to can, to bottle, to pocket. The name of a meal, the process of taking it, to lunch, to supper. The suggested groups represent the most obvious cases and illustrate a complex nature of the logical associations which specify them. In actual fact, these associations are not only complex but sometimes perplexing. It would seem that if you know that the verb formed from the name of an animal denotes behavior typical of the animal, it would be easy for you to guess the meaning of such a verb, provided that you know the meaning of the noun. Yet it is not always easy. Of course, the meaning of to fox is rather obvious, being derived from the associated reputation of that animal for cunning. To fox means to act cunningly or craftily. But what about to wolf? How is one to know which of the characteristics of the animal was picked by the speaker's subconsciousness when this verb was produced? Ferocity, loud and unpleasant howling, the inclination to live in packs? Yet, as the following example shows, to wolf means to eat greedily, voraciously. For example, Charlie went on wolfing the chocolate. Composition. This type of word building, in which new words are produced by combining two or more stems, is one of the three most productive types in modern English. The other two are conversion and affixation. Compounds, though certainly fewer in quantity than derived or root words, still represent one of the most typical and specific features of English word structure. There are at least three aspects of composition that present special interest. The first is the structural aspect. Compounds are not homogeneous in structure. Traditionally, three types are distinguished: neutral, morphological, and syntactic. There are three subtypes of neutral compounds depending on the structure of the constituent stems. Simple neutral compounds, for example, blackbird, shop window, sunflower, bedroom, tall boy. They are called simple neutral compounds because they consist of simple affixless stems. Derived or derivational compounds, for example, absent-mindedness, blue-eyed, golden-haired, broad-shouldered, lady killer, music lover, first-nighter, latecomer, newcomer, early riser, evildoer. Contracted compounds, for example, TV set, TV program, TV show, TV canal, V-Day, G-Man, H-bag, T-shirt, etc. Morphological compounds are few in number. This type is non-productive. It is represented by words in which two compounding stems are combined by a linking vowel or consonant. For example, Anglo-Saxon, Franco-Prussian, handiwork, handicraft, craftsmanship, spokesman, statesman. In syntactic compounds, we once more find a feature of specifically English word structure. These words are formed from segments of speech, preserving in their structure numerous traces of syntagmatic relations typical of speech, articles, prepositions, adverbs, as in the nouns lily of the valley, jack of all trades, good for nothing, mother-in-law, sit at home. Another focus of interest is the semantic aspect of compound words. That is the question of correlations of the separate meanings of the constituent parts and the actual meaning of the compound. Or, to put it in easier terms, can the meaning of a compound word be regarded as the sum of its constituent meanings? Group number 1, classroom, bedroom, working man, evening gown, dining room, sleeping car, reading room, dancing hall. This group seems to represent compounds whose meanings can really be described as the sum of their constituent meanings. Yet, a sleeping car is not a car that sleeps, as a sleeping child, nor is a dancing hall actually dancing as dancing pairs. Second group, blackboard, blackbird, football, lady killer, pickpocket, good for nothing, lazy bones, chatterbox. In these compounds, one of the components, or both, has changed its meaning. A blackboard is neither a board nor necessarily black. Football is not a ball, but a game. A chatterbox, not a box, but a person. And a lady killer kills no one, but is merely a man who fascinates women. In the third group of compounds, the process of deducing the meaning of the whole from those of the constituents is impossible. The key to meaning seems to have been irretrievably lost. Ladybird is not a bird, but an insect. Tall boy, not a boy, but a piece of furniture. Blue stocking, on the contrary, is a person, whereas blue bottle may denote both a flower and an insect, but never a bottle.